Hi everybody, welcome to, you know what it is, Aikidoflow. Now, okay, here at Aikidoflow, I know we are a basically martial arts channel, you know, we give you tips about fighting and stuff like that, but to be honest, our opinion on fighting is always try to avoid a fight, okay? You know, I don't like hurting people. I don't want to get hurt.
That's not what you said to me.
Depends on who it is, you know. But also, like, we're adults. We shouldn't be fighting on the street, as far as I'm concerned, okay? There's only reasons why we shouldn't fight, okay? Also, these days, you know, there's always CCTV, someone pointing a mobile phone camera at you. So, you know, you get into a fight, often they can't hear what's going on. You may end up looking like you're the aggressor, okay? So you don't want to get into a situation where you're on the street fighting. You know, that was back in the days when we were young and we were kids, okay? So I feel we should take a leaf out of the great Bruce Lee. Study the art of fighting without fighting. So today, we're gonna have a look at this.
Love that. Love Bruce Lee.
I remember years ago, okay, when I worked at Piccadilly Institute, some nightclub in central London, okay. I remember there was an incident where this guy had been kicked out of the club, aggressive behaviour. Now he's outside, he's mouthing it off, blah, 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 blah. Suddenly he gets into a fight with some random passerby. Now, they get into a scuffle. This guy ends up knocking out, the guy we kicked out ends up knocking down this passerby, and he's kicking him on the floor. Now, I thought, I can't have this. So I ran up and I did a technique called Tenshinagi on him, which you might know as a clothesline, okay? Boom. Now, the impact was so hard, it literally knocked him out cold. He was out cold on the floor. Police came, saw this guy out cold. Now, they went downstairs to watch the CCTV. Now, I'm on the door, I'm scared. I'm thinking, I'm going to jail tonight. That was my thoughts, okay? But the police officer went downstairs, he came upstairs to me and he said to me, okay, so tell me what happened. And I said, look, guy got kicked out, had an altercation with a passerby. Passerby ended up on the floor. The guy was kicking him on the floor. Now, my aim was to run up and just grab him to restrain him. And as I went forward, he came forward, we collided, the impact just kind of knocked him out. And I don't know what happened. That was my explanation. Police officer said to me, yeah, that's what it looked like on the CCTV. My heart just went, whew. So I knew, okay, I'm in the clear on this one, you know. Police officer didn't realize that I actually just did a Tenshinagi on him. He thought I was actually just trying to grab him and restrain him. Therefore, it was all good. I carried on with my shift and finished my shift, and I was able to sleep in my own bed that night, not in the police cell. You can be in a situation where you defend yourself or you even fight someone, but you need to try to not be seen as the aggressor. That's the most important thing, because I've been arrested a couple of times doing my security job, and it's often after being attacked and me defending myself, because the other people came up worse off, I end up in cuffs and I'm in a police station. Obviously nothing happened. They watch CCTV, see what happens, realize that you weren't in the wrong, but you still end up spending like 9-10 hours in a police cell for them to go and find that out, which was the most annoying part. But it's all about the art of fighting without fighting. So we're gonna have a look at this today. If you're in a situation where you're in a confrontational situation, you know you can't walk away, okay? Or you can't run or whatever. Always remember there's gonna be people watching. Now, the best thing you can do is take a passive stance. Here, okay? Here, you're passive, okay? Also, you're stepping back. You're constantly stepping back. You step back as far as you can until your back hits the wall, okay? Reason being is that when police come and if you end up hurting this person, they relay the story to the police and they relay it like, yeah, this guy, he was stepping back, you know. You could even be verbal. Look, I don't want no trouble, mate. I don't want no trouble. You know, point to someone who's watching the crowd. Hey, you with a red hat. Tell this guy I don't want no trouble. Everybody's got to remember that you were not the actual instigator. They will remember that because you've involved other people. Now, hands up, okay?
Hey, you.
Hands up, yeah. It's like you're passive. You're passive. You can even make yourself look like a coward, but at the last minute, you just come and boom. Okay, and what it is here, it's a nice clothesline. Bang! You take the head out. Your leg moves as well. Boom! And you come through and just here, boom, movement together. Take that head off, okay? That can look like, you can make it look like, hey, look, I try to run past him and get away, you know? I try to grab him, you know? It can look all sorts of ways. But that technique, nice clothesline, you can disguise it as quite a few things.
Subscriber question. Okay, so explain to us where this technique has actually come from. Where does it originate from? What is this technique?
Okay.
I know you're using it on the street, but you train in Aikido, right?
Yeah.
Well, I hope so. You're on the Aikidoflow channel.
Is that what it's called? Well, this technique comes from, it's a technique called Tenshinagi, okay? And the Tenshinagi was literally, it was a zigzagging of the feet, okay? So what it was, we used to practice it like this, like we hold the hands and like this. That's how we used to practice it. It was a zigzag here, and then here stepping behind, and then a simple takedown like that. It's a case of taking the person's top half off balance and taking them down. You're coming in here, so what it is, your aim is to tilt the head here and tilt the head up, and as I step behind, I'm taking them down. Now we translate that on the street to basically a clothesline. That's how we changed it, okay? Ideally, in a hostile situation, I don't really want to hurt anyone. I want to do it in that way. But imagine it's him and two of his mates. I'm not going to mess around. I'm going here. Boom! And I'm going straight through. I'm going to take his head off his neck, okay? But the most important thing is moving the body all the way through here. It comes from here. People think it's here, but it comes from here. I can't just stand here and go like that, okay? I'm moving here. Boom! And I'm taking his head off his neck. That's only if I have to. Don't want to, but if I have to, I will. The whole movement was a zigzag here, stepping out through here, leg comes in, and I step behind my attacker, and I bend my knees. I use my body weight here, take my attacker down, and sink them down. I can form that technique quite gently. But if I need to go in hard, I can go in hard, and that's the great thing about this. I can adjust my attack to either make it gentle or hard. In the situation I used it, I did it quite hard, but it was necessary. It was absolutely necessary. But it's all about just being able to disguise it as something different, which is what I did.
Question. Show me the timing between the top and the bottom in slow motion so we can understand exactly how it works.
Okay, so we'll do it from basic, okay? So from here, okay, my aim is, now what I'm not doing is moving my legs and then my hands. It all moves together. This hand moves with this leg. This hand moves with that leg. So as I move here, this one moves. And although I'm pausing, but it's like literally bang. It's literally here, okay? I'm moving straight through, but I'm gonna do it slowly and pause. So here, this one comes, and as this one moves, this hand comes here, and you see it's moving with the leg, and it's there. They move together. I always used to imagine I was like, what's that puppet called? What's that puppet called? His nose used to grow long.
Puppet.
Pinocchio.
I thought you were talking about,
I can imagine I'm Pinocchio.
I thought you were talking about Thunderbirds, man.
No. Imagine I'm Pinocchio or Thunderbirds, and I would imagine that my hand is on a string attached to my foot, and so I can only move like that. So when this moves, that moves. When that moves, that moves. So when I'm moving the technique, it's here and here, and they all move together and stop together. But I need to finish with my knees bent. Okay?
So now we understand where it's come from. How do you abbreviate that into using it on the street? So the short version, what are you leaving out? And why?
The reason I'm leaving it out because on the street, I'm leaving a lot of bits out because the way we learnt it, where we practice it, is in the dojo in order not to harm the people around us. And also so we can also use it on the street in a situation where we may not want to harm that attacker. And so the bits we leave out are literally that outward step would often be to off balance our attacker. It could be like from a punch here and I'm taking this out here. On the street now, it doesn't matter about that. I'm going straight through, okay? I'm just going straight through. Instead of the zigzag behind, instead of the bending down afterwards, I'm going straight through. My aim is to literally take his top half so his legs come up. So it's literally here, boom. I'm just going straight through. That's how we change it to the street form. Straight through, no hesitation, not too much of a zigzag, just literally straight through. It's almost like I'm just trying to walk past Jason and I just go bang as I'm walking past. That's what it's almost like. But obviously, my body needs to move together. The bits that need to stay intact are the leg and the arm moving together. That's what makes it powerful. My leg needs to come forward at the same time as my arm. I can't step and then go, boom, that's not going to be anything. It needs to move together. That's the fundamentals of it, and that's the most important bit. In conclusion, okay, we don't want to fight. Okay? We don't want to be born on the street, but if you have to, and only if you have to, okay, understand that even in self-defense, you can still look like the aggressor. It's happened to me. I remember being attacked by 3 guys, and the last guy, leg sweeped him, he hit his head on the floor, split his head open, ambulance, police, I'm in cuffs after being attacked by 3 guys. You can always look like the aggressor. Now, the trick is, fortunately for me, there was CCTV, okay? The trick is to always try to look like you are not the aggressor. There's ways you can do that, hands up, passive stance, moving back, shake your head, no, get other people involved, say, look, please, look, talk to him, don't want no trouble, please stop, whatever, keep walking back. You need, even if it gets to a point where you end up in court, those few things can help you stay out of jail. And those are the things that make you look like you are not the aggressor. If you walk after somebody, you're going to be the aggressor. If you're walking away, you're not going to be the aggressor. Let that person come to you. I know it's easier said than done sometimes, especially me working on a nightclub. I often can't walk away, but I do back up as far as possible. I do adopt this stance. I do shake my head, and it makes me look like I'm not the aggressor. Try to avoid fighting on the street. Try to avoid any physical confrontation, because we don't want to get hurt and we don't want to hurt others.
That's what it looked like on the CCTV.
Exactly.
Style up, beat it, get it, photo. Style up, beat it, get it, photo.